Sage has always held a dominating presence on Bind with her extremely effective utility for both attacking and defending rounds, whether that's stuffing a choke point with her slows or keeping the defenders on their toes with insane off angles. Regardless of how you play, Sage is a must-have to a successful Bind team comp. Welcome back to Esports Driven, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the most optimal walls you can deploy to secure rounds across the board. Let's get into it. Starting as a defender on the B site, here's a classic to watch both long and hookah simultaneously. Deploy the wall on the lip of the hookah wall and make sure the wall is long enough to peek out into long like this. You can now juggle two individual angles and move based on where you hear the attackers. If you're 1 point off your resurrection, you can deploy a wall like this to safely grab the B long orb. This also functions as a method to get your ult around 3 times a half, but if you've done this wall several times, instead jump on top of the wall like this. Wait for any attackers to shoot it down and then wide swing, guaranteed kills. Here's an insane wall that isolates a head glitch on B long. Come to CT. Find this triad of dirt specs, put your crosshair in the middle of the 3 and deploy the wall facing forwards. Crouch out to the very edge and turn towards long. You'll see the heads of every enemy crossing this angle, and due to the way this spot works, the game doesn't recognize this glass wall as a solid, so it lets you shoot through it, but enemies can't. Something fun you can do on save rounds is to place a wall like this in hookah. From the attacker perspective, they'll assume you're on top of the wall and confidently run in, except you're actually sitting on the other side with a shotgun. Moving to the A site, place your wall behind the truck as the round starts, and you'll find you'll have a grotesque head glitch angle to one-tap some assuming opponents. Come just outside of showers and position yourself like this. Jump, crouch, place the wall on top of the stack, and uncrouch as it begins deploying. You'll snap to the top of it and access a super elevated position to spot both attacker entrances with. A wall back site like this will set up yet another elevated position, one that this time sees over the typical front site smoke. On top of this extra height lets you access all of the structures on site with some decent parkour skills. If you want to surprise any attacker approaching showers, try this strategy out. Come to this corner of showers, put your crosshair roughly around here, and deploy the wall. The attackers will have to shoot out the wall to cross into sight, so once you hear them, press W. This will instantly break the 2 wall segments in front of you, and you can spray them all down when they least expect it. This strategy works because of a failsafe that doesn't allow you to get stuck between your own wall, which could potentially lead you to getting out of bounds. Let's move on to the attacker side. A common play is to wall off the front of the A site to secure a plant, but we can take that a step further. Wall the gap like this so you get boosted up behind the wooden stack. Instead, have a teammate plant the spike. Wait for any commotion, then punish any attempt to break your wall. This also works as a great post plant spot, as you can isolate both the heaven and CT defender entrance. Like last time, this same boost on the shower stack can be used as an attacker. When on top of here, it sets up a one-way for any defender rotating from CT, and if you walk a bit left, you can also see heaven. If you want another one-way for CT, come up to here in U-Haul and place the wall facing this back wall. Another wall segment will appear, and if you hold from any of these spots, you'll set up your one-way. The one-ways don't stop on the A site though. On B, perform a long wall on the metal box right next to the 2, and then immediately run back to hookah. With this setup, any defender crossing the opening path's legs will be exposed, while they can't see any of you anchored over in hookah. Very overpowered. In almost the same spot, perform a long wall at the edge of tube like this. This allows you to see over the CT walls and headshot any defender unfortunate enough to be rotating through their own spawn. Just make sure you have a teammate watching your elbow when doing this strategy. Wall off elbow like this, allowing you to jump up on this stack here. This functions as a double off angle, letting you peer into both elbow and CT. Remember, if you ever have to fall off the elevated position, you can always climb back up using this thin piece of wood. For a deep head glitch into CT, place a wall like this in octagon. This is sort of a safer version of the elbow wall we just did, and you can set it up before you're even on site. To further bully anyone rotating through elbow, place a long wall like this on the Radianite box, and break any extruding pieces as to not reveal your position. And that's going to wrap up our Sage Wall Bind video. If you want to continue your journey in mastering the Sentinel, check out our playlist where we have guides covering each and every map, and all of the awesome wall tech behind them. Remember to subscribe to Esports Driven to never miss an upload like this, and we'll catch you in the next one.